Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optics, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we discuss film, TV, and everything pop culture related. I'm your host, Christian, and as always, I am joined by my co-host and my good friend, Devon. How are you doing today, man?
It's a great day today.
Is it?
It really is.
Why is it a great day?
I got my first COVID vaccine today, actually.
Ooh, nice.
Fighting the good fight.
Fighting the good fight. That's awesome. I still have to get mine. Still have to set up my appointment, but I mean, it is what it is. So you're halfway there.
Halfway there, yep. Pfizer gang.
Oh yeah, getting ready to go back to the movies. You know, we got some good stuff coming up, and it'd be silly not to. I know for some people, one of my friends who actually is allergic to sulfur has to hold off on getting their vaccine because apparently there's sulfur within the vaccine. I think it's within one of the doses that you get. So he has to hold off. Yeah, has to hold off for a bit, but yeah, that's all right. But how's your week been? Just you been good?
Yeah, just another week. How about you?
It was all right. It's been, I mean, work's been fine. It's just that I don't know. Like it was all right. I finished I'm now a Titans season 2 and 1 survivor. That was,
I don't know how you did it.
That was very rough. But like I love the Teen Titans so much, or the Titans. I do want to see I have to watch season 3 now. I mainly did it so I can watch the Red Hood in action. But okay, so season 1 was like but like season 2, like it started getting kind of good, and then it just went all over the place, and then something happens at the very end, which was like completely out of left field, no build up to it whatsoever. It just, I was like, yikes! Yeah. It was not a fun time, is what I'm pretty much trying to say. Aside from Dick Grayson's story throughout season 1 and 2, I thought his was pretty nice. Him and Ravens, at least. But it is what it is, man. It's all right. We're here. It's a Friday, man. We have so much news to cover today, and of course, we're going to be covering our episode 2 of the Falcon Winter Soldier later on, right before we we're right after we get into the news topics. But before we get into today's show or today's podcast, you can listen to this podcast around on platforms around the internet, and make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Film Optics. That is Optics with an X, for all of our latest announcements. So that's going to be a lot of fun. You know, I try to balance between, you know, our Twitter page and my own, and it's just it's been a stressful week. So I'm like, I'm just going to stick to my own personal for now. But Devin, are you ready to get into the topics of the week?
Oh yeah.
Are you sure? Are you ready for this? Because we have to assemble the news team first. So are you ready?
Bring it on.
News team, assemble!
It's a classic run.
It is classic. I was like, we need something to kind of, give our template, our show more structure. And I was like, you know what, we're going to start, we got this nice little soundboard here. It's the weekend. We can be like, it's like, it's the weekend. There you go. So we got a nice little soundboard here. So might as well use it to our best ability, to our best use. So let's start off with the first topic of the week. This actually dropped earlier today. We finally got a better look at James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Thank the heavens,
Finally.
Because this was a rough one, man. Like, I was just like, when are we going to hear about this? I don't know when. And what are your thoughts about it?
As far as the trailer goes, I thought it was all right. It was more so focused on like the dialogue and the funny parts than the action, I guess, which is what they were going with. Definitely had some moments. Got some We got a new villain. It looks like looks like Starro might be coming through.
Patrick Star,
basically
making his way into the DCEU. But yeah, I really like this trailer. I think the very beginning when they're playing the rescue mission to rescue Harley Quinn, and and then
he shows up behind him.
Yeah, she's like, you were gonna save me, and it's like, well, yeah. And she's like, well, I can go back inside if you want. I was like, oh my god, it's such a Harley Quinn thing to do, and I love the dialogue with that. I've seen a little bit of pushback for Peacemaker. I know some people are like, why is he getting his own spinoff HBO Max show? I'm not sure, but
it is a little strange.
It's random
off of nothing to just give him a show.
Yeah, like yes, there are so many other characters they could delve into.
I feel like it's just because they have John Cena attached. That's probably the only reason, because they have a name attached to it.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. I don't know. That's one for the ages though. Very, very
August for this one.
Yeah, August 6th, I believe. So and it's official Red Band trailer as well.
Yeah, it's definitely rated R.
When I was posting up on the Music City Drive-In for this trailer, and when it came through Warner Brothers, and I tried adding it into the mix, it was like, oh, by the way, this is the Red Band trailer. It's not going to show up. So I had to go to like another YouTube channel to actually, get all that stuff in there. So, I mean, it is what it is, but whew, man, oh man. Yeah, got it all fixed. IGN came through. I was like, perfect.
IGN coming through.
Yeah, who would have thought, right? Who would have thunk it? But it looks really, really great. We get some new characters. We see a little bit of Pete Davidson as well. So it is
we got two Petes in this one. The Doctor Who Pete and this Pete.
What did you think of the weasel? That's
strange.
That grossed me out, but like it works. I was like, oh god, what is this?
And King Shark's looking pretty good.
Yeah, from the horrible, beautiful mind of James Gunn. But yeah, King Shark is actually like prominent in this trailer. He just looks very. I think maybe the film circles around him. Possibly
might be an upgrade over King Croc.
Well, anything.
Was it King? Killer Croc.
Killer Croc, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anything.
They won an Oscar for it.
I don't know how. Wait, what did they win?
The makeup. Basically for Killer Croc.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. But I mean,
it did look good. The makeup.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like. So this is technically a sequel.
Yeah, they brought back Rick Flag. They got Harley Quinn. They brought back Amanda Waller.
But it's like a sequel, but also a soft reboot. So
I feel like with the Suicide Squad, it's kind of hard to do sequels because it's the Suicide Squad. They're not meant for sequels.
That is true. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I guess it is a sequel, but at the same time, I feel like this is going to replace. I feel like this is literally what Well,
did you see some of the replies to the trailer? They're like, "This David Ayer should feel ashamed to see this replacing his beautiful movie in his cut."
Okay.
It's just ridiculous at this point.
People are very like, I'm not a big fan of David Ayer like at all, but I mean, he had his movie in theaters. People didn't like the theatrical cut. Then the extended cut came out. He's like, oh no, well, like there's more to the story. And then the extended cut was bad. And it's like, I'm sorry. It's just, I mean, yes, he was only given around like 6 to 7 weeks to like write the script. But I mean, the movie was literally from the get-go, it was just set up to fail. And it's like, they already said they're not going to reboot the Ayer cut because they already dropped $70 million on Zack Snyder's Justice League. I feel like for me, at least for this movie, no, as it is also happening with Zack Snyder's Justice League, I mean, I'm going to be throwing out the original. Like, I'm not even going to give it a second watch. I don't even own it on Blu-ray. Like this, I'm definitely going to own on Blu-ray. Like, what was this? Was the trailer for the original Suicide Squad amazing? Yeah, it was great. But this is James Gunn. We know what he can do. I'm not sure who was very familiar with David Ayer in the superhero realm prior, but we've seen James Gunn's work before, and I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to work out.
Yeah, this is the most confidence I've had in a DCU movie in a long time, if
That
not
and
the most.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that and the Batman, of course,
Yeah.
that's coming out next year. But yeah, I mean, honestly, we'll get into it in a little bit, but Warner Brothers is going on a different path. So then actually
speaking of,
you want to take this next one?
I'm sorry, Snyder heads. It's not looking great as of now. Warner Media's and there it is, that trombone. Warner Media's Ann Sarnoff has a couple quotes on Zack Snyder's Justice League and DC's future. And she says the company will not be releasing David Ayer's version of Suicide Squad or continuing the Snyderverse, just to kind of sum it up. And of course, it's going to be the same thing for the next 5 years. Every DCU movie comes out, all the Snyder fans are just going to shit on it for no reason, just because they want the Snyderverse. It's just like, it's dumb.
Yeah, honestly, I totally agree. And actually, Ricky over from Music City Drive-In, he actually had a nice little message, and I guess I'll play it here for you guys, because I think people should hear this, and this is kind of what I agree with. So let me play this for you. So yeah, there we go.
I don't know if they heard that, but I didn't hear it.
Oh yeah, they did. So he was pretty much saying, and I thought you would have heard that, but it's okay. I'm still working this thing out. But he was pretty much saying that, everyone's saying, like, release the Snyder Cut. You finally get the Snyder Cut, and then it's not enough. So now it's more of, restore the Snyderverse. And he's pretty much just saying, be happy with what you got and let's move on, because they're not.
I understand the disappointment when you see the Zack Snyder's Justice League and you see the potential that he laid out within that movie, because even us, who were both doubters of it in the first place, we see that he laid out potential storylines for many other movies to come. Mm-hmm. But DC has moved on, and you definitely should too. Like, there's no point in leaving comments under trailers for new movies. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's insane. And I've seen some people saying, "Oh, you should boycott Godzilla versus Kong." I'm like, no. I want my kaiju movie. I'm sorry. I like you. I want to see this movie. Like, I want to see, Zack continue his vision. Like, it would be great if he could, but I mean, everyone's mindset now, and it's fine for the fan base to clamor for something, that may or may not come true. You know, it is a very strong fan base, whatever. We've seen this with the Cleveland Browns our entire lives. Like, there's no stronger fan base.
There's no quit.
There is no quitting, and there's nothing wrong with that. But people need to start being a little bit realistic, because no, Warner Brothers is not transparent, but I think for the first time in a while, they actually were, because they said, no, we are not doing the David Ayer cut of his film. Like, it happens all the time with studio interference. Sometimes it can be a good thing. Sometimes it is a bad thing. But if that were the case, the
Snyder Cut was like a very special circumstance because of what happened to him and his family. Like,
right,
that was just a very unfortunate event, and it makes sense for there to be a specific cut for him for that movie. We're not going to have a cut for every bad movie. That's just not going to happen.
Exactly. You can't do that. If that was the case, we would have got one for Fantastic Four, Green Lantern, X-Men Origins, Wolverine, and so on and so forth. It's just it's not it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I get it. People are like, oh, well, they said that before, and look where we are 4 years later. I understand that. But just like Devin said, it is a special circumstance because he lost his daughter. His daughter took her own life. I don't think anyone in David Ayer's family had passed away from suicide that I know of, or that we know of. Like, totally different circumstance. Suicide Squad was bad. The moment that it was greenlit, it was going to be bad. But for the Snyderverse, like, it sucks, but it's time to move on. We got the Suicide Squad. There's so many other projects coming in the mix. You know, we got the Batman coming up. We got the Flash movie coming up. We're getting Static Shock. We're getting a Zatanna movie. Speaking of,
DC is getting some pedigree in their line of directors here. They're following the MCU, getting some Oscar-worthy directors.
Yeah.
For the Zatanna superhero movie, we're getting Emerald Fennell, the writer and director of Promising Young Woman.
Very good. Very, very good.
Amazing movie.
Yeah. And okay, Emerald, I'm just asking, please cast Emilia Clarke. That's all I'm asking.
I'm feeling Ana de Armas.
Or honestly, I wouldn't be mad either way. Like, those are. Or honestly, you know what? Let's get Haley Steinfeld in the DCEU. Why not?
She's got a lot on her plate. I don't know.
She does. I mean, hey, Dickinson season 3 got greenlit. So
exactly.
Hey, I'm telling you, you're missing out. It's good stuff. I love it so much. But yeah. So yeah, Promising Young Woman's director, Emerald Fennell. I think it's going to be fantastic. You know, this does come from Variety, so it's one of their exclusives as well. So it's great to put that on here, and I think a lot of people are thinking now with the Eternals, because Nomadland is, you know, getting all the smoke and fire behind it, you know, pushing it towards the award season. It won the PGA for best film, so it's definitely going to show up during the Oscars. But people are thinking, you know, they haven't released anything Eternals related, but the movie's been done. The movie's finished wrapping.
Nothing released for it.
Yeah.
Like, nothing. We've just been clamoring and just hoping. Like, there's been like weird like drawings that people are posting that aren't official, that we're just kind of taking and just accepting.
Yeah. So, I mean, what people are thinking is that, you know, Marvel's trying to hold out to see if Chloe Zhao when she gets that nomination spot for Nomadland. If and when, probably when, so they can say, oh, you know, brought to you by Oscar-nominated director Chloe Zhao, blah, 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 blah. I think that's what they're doing. And a lot of people on Twitter think the same thing. So it stands to reason, you know, it makes sense. But I'm really excited I think DC might be doing the same thing with the Zatanna movie. So, I mean, I've seen her a lot in like Young Justice shows and whatnot. She has like a very prominent role there with Dr. Fate as well. And so it's good stuff for sure. But, you know, and moving on here, we got a little bit more Warner Brothers news coming on with our next topic. And I believe we should be done because there's a lot of Warner Brothers news out there today. But you know what? It's time to talk some more Game of Thrones. You know, we got there's a million Game of Thrones spin-off series at the in the works at HBO. We have, of course, the House of the Dragon that's supposed to be set 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones. It's essentially during the story tells, you know, it's about Daenerys' ancestors ruling Westeros, which, you know, pretty much leading up to Robert's Rebellion. We also have the Dunk and Egg project that's going to be coming out. We also have the Nymeria project that revolves around Queen Nymeria. She is she's the ancestor of House Martell. For all you Game of Thrones fans out there, founded the Kingdom of Dorne. We also have the Sea of Snake spinoff in the works. With a working title, 9 Voyages. I think the Sea Snake kind of works a little bit better, but I'm not sure. We also have the Flea Bottom film series coming out as well. The project is set in the notorious King Landing's slum of Flea Bottom, which is pretty much where all the commoners and whatnot, where all they live within King's Landing. And then there's also the Game of Thrones animated drama series, supposedly. But there's a few in the works. Some people are happy, some people aren't. I wouldn't expect them to do a one and done with Game of Thrones. Like, we knew, you know, House of Dragons is coming up, but it seems like they have these others on deck. And honestly, like, as silly as these names sound, at least they're being transparent about it. We know something that is happening with the world of Westeros and where they plan to head with this franchise. So, I mean, it's great that, you know, we kind of know what to expect. And obviously I'm sure a lot of these things are subject to change, but it's good stuff. You know, I'm very excited. I need some more Game of Thrones action in my life, but anyway, let's move on to our next topic here.
More Warner Brothers news.
Oh man, I missed one. I'm sorry.
Regal Cinemas is planning to reopen in April. That's the first part.
Woo!
Their parent company, Cineworld, and Warner Bros. Have also reached a multi-year deal to show Warner Brothers films in the US and UK. I believe it's a 45-day window.
Yes, for starting in 2022. Which honestly is kind of like the reverse of what Warner Brothers is doing now. You know, as of right now, you know, they're doing the day and date for this year. It makes sense, you know, because of the pandemic and whatnot. But I think you're a little bit. I mean, I'm excited for this, but you seemed more excited. This seemed more up your alley.
Yeah, I want theaters to live. That's all it comes down to.
I mean, I do too. It's just there are just some movies like I'm 50-50 sometimes because, of course, you know, movies like Godzilla versus Kong, you know, we're going to go see that in theaters. So we are seeing it in theaters and, you know, we're going to review it here on the pod. But, you know, for the smaller non-blockbuster films, I feel like I could just watch those at home. Like, if I'm going to the theater, I want it to feel like an event. But, you know, sometimes it is just nice to get out of the house. So I understand both sides of the circumstance. You know, obviously streaming is not going away anytime soon, if ever. But I feel like theaters are going to be fine. It's just, I don't think they're going. I mean, a lot of people weren't going to the movies unless it was like a big, like not third party, but big franchise or blockbuster movie anyway. But it just depends. But I'm 50-50. I'm obviously, you know, I do miss the theaters. Like, don't get me wrong. But, you know, I want to see both thrive in their own way.
I was surprised to see 45 days because I would have expected more of a middle ground. It seems like they went a little longer than I would have expected. But it's because Universal's, what was it, 30 they did or 15?
I think it was 15. But Paramount Plus is also doing 45 for
maybe 45 is just what the industry is going to go for.
Yeah, because the people who want to go to the theaters will supposedly, you know, depending on if people feel safe enough or have been vaccinated, and then the people who kind of want to stay at home, you can still catch it on, and you'll be able to catch it on HBO Max 45 days later, which honestly isn't bad. I think for this year, it does make sense, for what they're doing. But next year, they are trying something new, which, Warner Brothers, as crazy as they are probably one of my top favorite studios. They have a lot of properties, a lot of movies that I like to watch. Like they make good stuff. I mean, they really do. I mean, DC aside, Warner Brothers makes a lot of good stuff. But yeah, this does make sense, and it's a multi-year deal. So they're kind of thinking of the future. Okay, even after this whole COVID thing is over, this is what we're going to have moving forward. So it looks like it is a multi-year deal for that within the US and the UK. So that's cool. Good stuff. Really, really good stuff. All right. Next up on the list here, we have Sony. Sony and PlayStation Productions are developing a Ghost of Tsushima movie with John Wick's Chad. I'm sorry, I do not have my glasses on right now. Chad Stahelski? Stelsky?
Sure.
You want to give a go at it?
Stahelski.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, for those of you who don't know, Ghost of Tsushima is a new IP that Sucker Punch Games that is owned by Sony Interactive Entertainment, or excuse me, now it's PlayStation Studios. They made a new game called Ghost of Tsushima, which takes place in feudal Japan and has been critically acclaimed. It is a very good game, pretty much what Assassin's Creed in Japan would be. I actually like it a little bit better than Assassin's Creed, but it is a story-driven game. So it looks like they're making a movie out of it with John Wick's director. So Stahelski looks like he's taking on a new project. This is okay. I feel like it would have been better, more of like a TV space thing, but at the same time, I feel like Ghost of Tsushima isn't that big like The Last of Us to be just making a movie for, but even though The Last of Us is getting a TV show. But you haven't played this, have you?
No.
Okay. Well, you have a PlayStation, so you should pick it up at some point once it's like $20.
Yeah. I'm not gonna really get excited for any of these Sony movies until they actually come out with something and prove that they are up to par. If Uncharted or The Last of Us is actually impressive, then we can start to have our expectations go up.
True, but before The Last of Us comes out, you need to at least play the first game. That's all I ask, because then you'll be able to have a better insight as to what I'm talking about, and a better compare and contrast for HBO. But actually, for HBO, Last of Us, I believe they did say there are going to be more extended, more surprises that that Last of Us fans that will be coming up in the TV adaptation. We'll have to wait and see. Like I said, it's definitely interesting. It sounds amazing so far. We have two great castings thus far with Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey as Joel and Ellie respectively. But it's it is a very linear game, so there are some parts they probably will have to take out. Because, with The Last of Us, you're learning like the shooting mechanics and all that stuff. And, you're not constantly rummaging for like new, for scattered parts or like residue parts and whatnot. But it just depends. But apparently it looks like Maisie Williams said that she wanted to play Ellie if there ever was a movie adaptation. And honestly, that wouldn't be a bad idea either. Between Maisie Williams and Bella Ramsey were both from Game of Thrones, or even I think people were saying, oh my gosh, Caitlin Dever, she would have been good. Maybe as like an older Ellie, I think, for Last of Us Part 2, but season 1 is only going to cover the first game. So there's that. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. The Ghost of Tsushima thing, I agree with you on that. Just have to wait and see, because video game movies just aren't really all that great. But let's move on to our next topic here. You want to take this one away?
Yes, we have some Hawkeye spinoff news. that it's not involving Millie Bobby Brown.
Wow. Fuck you.
So Echo from the Hawkeye series is already getting a spinoff series without even being introduced yet.
Yeah.
Kind of impressive. So Echo is a deaf Native American character played by, I'm going to say, Alakwa
Yeah.
Cox.
See, I knew that one.
And it's in the early stages of development for Disney Plus. Eton and Emily Cohen are going to be writing it and executive producing it. So some good names there.
Yeah. So what do you think of, these spin-off series that get greenlit before the actual movie or show comes out? Because we've seen it. Well, we're seeing it with Peacemaker for the Suicide Squad and the HBO Max series that got greenlit. And now it looks like we're seeing it for Echo with Hawkeye and like her own, a spin-off of a spin-off pretty much, but a spin-off series of, yeah.
It kind of just depends. Like we mentioned for the Peacemaker series, it kind of just feels like they have John Cena, so they're just going to try to take advantage of his name and just put that out there. For this one, it's a little more exciting for me because it seems like they might be really excited for what this actor can do. Because I don't even know if she's been in anything, but
not that I know of. Yeah, unknown actors are really great to
But yeah, if they're already greenlighting this, then that means they must be impressed with her, and that's definitely exciting.
Yeah. And within the comic world, she does run into Daredevil a few times, so I'll have to wait and see. Very, very excited.
Yeah.
All right. It's okay. Okay. But anyway, Millie Bobby Brown is talking to Marvel and DC about possible castings. Some people are saying she could be Shadow Kitty for the X-Men, possibly. I don't know what she would be for DC. Maybe Artemis, possibly. I really don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see. Phenomenal actor, of course, but keep our ears to the ground on that one. But Devin, here's the biggest news. I didn't really put this at the top because I wanted us to get through all the Warner Brothers drama as always. But Black Widow, Cruella are to debut on Disney Plus and in theaters as Disney shifts dates for 7 films, Devin. 7 films. This is big news. This is the big news. There we go. The big news. So it looks like I think I posted this earlier or a few days ago. The new the new release dates for pretty much everything that we are getting, which is literally insane. So now we have Black Widow coming out on July 9th. We have Shang-Chi coming out this year, September 3rd. And then we have The Eternals November 5th. And supposedly we have Spider-Man No Way Home on December 17th. I don't know how this is all going to work, but
four movies, baby.
That's 4 movies there. And then we have Luca that's skipping a theatrical release and going straight to Disney Plus. And which is
strange.
Very strange. It seems for everything Pixar related, this is happening. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know why they're doing this with Pixar movies. Like, those are movies that we want to see in theaters.
Yeah. And I mean, we haven't really heard anything from Pixar either.
It made sense for Soul. I'll say that because of the timing. It made sense for Soul, but for a late summer movie like Luca, like put that in theaters.
Yeah.
There'll be vaccinations by then.
Yeah, it really sucks. And we also have Cruella, which is also going to be doing a dual release for Disney Premiere Plus access and in theaters as well, which is weird. You would think.
I feel like there's no hype for that movie. I mean, people like Emma Stone, but like,
I love Emma
Stone. Kind of it.
I mean, I'm definitely going to see. I mean, we're going to go see Black Widow in theaters, 100%, because number one, it's been too freaking long, and I don't know if I'm going to see Cruella on the big screen. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But and also a few of their other films, Free Guy got moved to August 13th. The King's Man got moved to December 22nd. Deepwater got moved to January 14th. And Death of the Nile, which is featuring Gal Gadot, got moved to February 11th, 2022. Same thing with Deepwater, 2022 on January 14th. But King's Man is coming out this year. The King's Man, excuse me. And Free Guy, which I totally forgot about. But
looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Ryan. When's the last time we saw Ryan Reynolds on the big screen? Pokemon?
Hobbs and Shaw?
Hobbs and Shaw? Oh,
Was that before or after?
I think that was before Pokemon. I think. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Anywho's there. We have 2 more stories here, and then we're going to get into our Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode to review. So we have more rumblings in the gaming world for a new Nintendo Switch that's supposedly supposed to come out this year, late 2021. This has been in talks forever. This comes from Bloomberg, and it's just apparently Nintendo plans to adopt an upgraded Nvidia chip, which, has better graphics, better processing for a new Switch model planned at the end of the year for the shopping season, according to the familiar people with the matter. But
maybe the graphics will be 5 years behind now instead of 10.
I recently picked up a Nintendo Switch, solely for Smash Brothers and Pokemon, and a little bit of Zelda here on the side, but mainly for Smash Brothers and of course Pokemon. But it is a great device to have. It's a great indie mission.
Not for third-party games. Don't do that to yourself.
Well, I will say for third-party games as in indies, absolutely.
Yeah, sure. The ones that aren't graphically demanding
but I wouldn't
at all.
Right, but I wouldn't play like Apex Legends on this thing.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that. That's not good. Tragedy.
They're online. Like Nintendo, like they make great games. The software is not the problem. It is the service. Nintendo online is only $20 a month, and that sounds fantastic.
$20 a year.
Yeah, $20 a year. And that sounds fantastic, but you also get what you pay for. Like I've had to buy a LAN adapter to play Super Smash Brothers online because the Wi-Fi connectivity is horrid. And even with the LAN adapter, it's better, but it's still bad at the same time. But it's just, 4 years have come out. People have been asking for themes for their Nintendo Switch. Nothing. There's a white and a black theme. There's no customizable profile pics that you can make. Literally, I honestly think they're missing out on a big market when it comes to streaming. Like YouTube is on the Switch. Bless you. Put Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, put all the streaming services on there because people are going to take it on the go with them anyway. But
put Quibi on there. Quibi should live on Switches.
No. It's gaming is the 3 core pillars when it comes to a console. You have your hardware, your software, and your services. Hardware for Nintendo Switch, not graphically powered.
They are innovative.
They are innovative
design wise.
Right, and they tend to build whatever hardware they're creating around that system, around those games for that generation. But graphically speaking, but then again, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate looks fantastic. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I'll have to wait and see for this. I need, like, it might just be called the new Nintendo Switch or something like that. But we'll just have to wait and see. There's so much talk between it, but I don't think it's going to have 4K graphics. But I don't know, man.
Speaking of wait and see, we got some potential news here. Microsoft might be in talks to purchase Discord for over $10 billion. That's a big chunk of change.
That is amazing. And I say it's amazing because, well, actually, first, let me get your thoughts about this because I've been rambling on for way too long.
I feel mixed about this. I mean, obviously, I respect Microsoft as a company and what they do, but there are a few cases where they haven't had the best services. Everyone knows Skype notoriously not being great. And then Mixer is the other one that they tried to dive into, and then it just ended up failing. I don't if they do make this purchase, I hope they're just kind of more hands off because Discord's got a good thing going.
It really does. And it has the best audio for, I mean, we do our podcasts on there sometimes.
There was nothing before Discord like it. Like we all used to go on Skype, and that was always terrible. We tried TeamSpeak, which was one of the worst things I've ever used in my life.
TeamSpeak is like early 2000s, like what people used to use to talk on like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, like Discord really saved a lot of online friendships.
Yeah, and it's centered around gaming. But I will push back a little bit because even before Microsoft acquired the rights to Skype, it was never good in my opinion. But I know a lot of people were worried that, oh, well, they ran Skype into the ground. It's like, well, Skype was like, okay. Mixer, I feel like they were diving into a market that was already dominated by YouTube and especially by Twitch. But Mixer was technically the best out of them and had the latency was the best out of all three between YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer when it came to, responding to like people in your chat and whatnot. Because I know one of my friends, she became an affiliate on Mixer, and then 2 months later they shut it down. And of course, they tried to get into the music market with Zune.
Yeah.
But, that is all in the past. It is different leadership now. And I think this is a good idea. If Microsoft acquires it, I think it'll be good for gamers all around for every platform, because if you imagine if Nintendo or Sony acquired Discord, you would not see it on any other gaming platform. I feel like if Microsoft does go through with this, they will definitely, because since they are the most consumer friendly, I feel like they are the company that has the better chance of saying, hey, we have this great new app. We want to put it on your console for, people.
Not even just from a gaming perspective. Like Discord has so many more uses. Like they could put it on every work desktop, every work laptop.
Yeah,
get rid
of Microsoft Teams, please.
Yeah, Teams and Skype. Like,
it is so bad.
Teams is okay. Definitely compared to Skype, it's pretty fine. But like, yeah, Discord could be a whole lot better. A lot better.
Discord is just amazing. I absolutely love it. And like I said, we record our podcasts on there sometimes, and it's great. Like, we have our own little servers, and it's more than just a text and voice chat feature. You can stream games. There's so much more you can do with Discord. But I do agree. I hope that, they purchase it. They don't try to Microsoft buy it, with all their stuff, just leave it as is. I mean, I could definitely see them putting Discord on Xbox, but Xbox Live Party Chat has never been bad. So I really don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I say that for like every single one. But anyway, Devin, that concludes our news topics of the week. Wow, 43 minutes in. We had a lot to talk about today. It's okay. It was a pretty big news week. But Devin, are you ready? Because we're about to get into our Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 2 review coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Superheroes cannot be allowed to exist. I have no intention to leave my work unfinished.
All right. So we are in.
The most underrated villain in the MCU is coming back, baby.
Yeah. And of course, this is spoiler territory as well. So if you haven't seen it, turn back now. I gotta say really quick, Devin, I almost forgot to watch this today. I don't know why. It's just I was so like between the hype between WandaVision, and we only had like a week break between WandaVision and the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think that's might have what did it for me. But I was just like, holy crap, episode 2 came out today. So much stuff came out today. We had Invincible, the first 3 episodes of that. If you haven't watched it yet, you should. It's on Amazon Video. And Solar Opposites season 2. It's finally out. It's about 8 or 9 episodes long. So I think I'm going to dive into that this weekend. But we are here to talk about the Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 2. I believe it is titled "The Star-Spangled Man," and I want to get your thoughts first, and then I'll go. But yeah, go ahead and lay it down for all of our listeners out there.
That was an amazing episode. Like there were a few people I saw that were kind of down on the first episode. I could see why. It was definitely a little slow getting into it, and we didn't even have Bucky and Sam meet up in the first episode, which I thought was an interesting decision. They kind of just showed us their different perspectives and how their lives have been going separately. But this episode gets right into it, and we're right into the action again. We're right into development of the story and the characters and everything. It just gets right into so many different things, and there's a lot going on, a lot of new characters, which is very exciting. These new characters we got some potential.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. I will admit a little bit, like with the first episode, it didn't feel like a snore fest. It was just more of, I don't know. It was setting up the world, showing where these characters have been since the blip, or since the events of Endgame, excuse me. And, seeing the personal side of both of these heroes and figuring out, just how their daily lives are going about, how they're dealing with, Captain America being gone, which he's not, well, didn't say he was dead. Like that is yet to be confirmed, but
he could be on the moon.
He could just taking a vacation with Nick Fury up there, but I don't know. This episode definitely, it's only 6 episodes long, so they have to get in to the plot, the action, the meat and potatoes right away.
Even with that, I was surprised. I don't know about you, but I was not expecting John Walker this early.
I was not expecting him this early at all.
Like he showed up at the end of the first episode. You're like, okay, a little tease. But then this episode, he's right into it, meeting our characters. Like, I was not expecting that at all. Because we saw that fight scene on the 2 trucks in the trailers. We saw a good amount of it, but they were obviously hiding John Walker and his buddy.
His crew. I forgot his
Battlestar, I think.
Battlestar, something like that. Yeah.
He seems like a cool character too.
Yeah. So, what do you think of the new Cap?
I mean, they really tried hard to make us like him in this first part of this episode here. They're making him feel like a nice, down-to-earth guy. He's just kind of an American war hero. He's got a nice girlfriend. He's got a nice friend. But, deep down, this is not a good guy.
I have to admit, at first when we saw him, I was like, okay, during the interview, when they're out in this high school football field, he's talking to his friend.
They tricked me for like a few minutes. They did. Like, he seems like a good guy.
Yeah, like he seems like a down to earth guy. Like even before he, went out to the football field, he was talking to his friend, and he was saying, he's like, I'm not Captain America. It seems that he was kind of just thrown into this role, which makes it feel like, we haven't, like, it's, them trying to make us feel like, he's kind of just here. He doesn't really know what he's doing. And even during the interview, it seems that he is a very genuine person of saying, look, like, I'm not a super soldier. I'm not trying to be Captain America. I'm not trying to be Steve Rogers, but I will be the best Captain America that I can be. And I was like, okay, you know what? That's perfect. It seems that the reporter was trying to steer him in a different direction, but he kind of like stopped it to let everyone know, what he was about. And that's what I really liked about it until later on, he does try to, help out Bucky and Sam with the Flag Smashers, which are, part of the villainous side of this of this series, but it kind of goes.
We didn't get to talk about too much about the Flag Smashers in our first review because we were going strictly non-spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the idea. I just love the idea of this group of people that are just like, we kind of liked how it was when the blip happened. Like, we want to go back to that. Like, that's so interesting to me.
Yeah,
it was like lawlessness and just kind of like they can just get away with more stuff, and they like that freedom that they had. So they're going to fight to try to get back to the blip times.
Yeah. So what did they say? A world without borders is what they want. Back to So yeah, and so for the first episode, we can we can talk about spoilers at all because it did come out on embargo day. So yeah, now the gloves are off. We're all here, but the Flag Smashers are very interesting. And
they are super soldiers. We found out this episode they have superpowers. They are beating up Cap. I mean, not Cap. Well, new Cap.
Well, yeah, they were.
He's not hashtag not my Cap.
Yeah, and that's what everyone's saying. And we know this going in. It's just more of he did seem like a very genuine person.
They're so tricky. Just like with Agnes, they tried to throw in a few little. Well, maybe she's not in on it, but we know. Come on.
Yeah, after everyone they got their butts handed to them when during the truck fighting sequence, which I thought was really great. But that
fight was really cool. And then we see the leader of the Flag Smashers, played by Erin Kellyman. Yeah, she's Carly Morgenthau, who is the name. I think it's Carl Morgenthau in the comics is the name of the actual Flag Smasher. In the comics, it's just one guy who's the Flag Smasher. They kind of made it like a group in this one. But yeah, it's a cool nod there. She's kind of that version of that.
Yeah, Erin Kellyman. She played Carly. I believe she is.
She was in Solo.
She was in Solo. That's right. That's where I remember her from. I was like, she looks so familiar to me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I feel it. So.
And then Wyatt Russell as John Walker. It's weird to see him without the beard.
It is, isn't it? But I thought he played a good fake. Not a good replacement, but a good fake Captain America, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like, oh, well, we couldn't get Captain America, but we got his long lost, his
good old American guy.
His third, he looks like the off-brand cereal version of Frosted Flakes. So, we have Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger.
I love that people after the first episode were saying he looked like the old man from Up on that because of the one shot he did at the end.
Honestly, yeah, I could see that. I actually did tweet a meme about that. It had the old man from Up with Captain America's headgear on. And said same energy. And I was like, yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, it's he plays a good, off-brand Captain America. He is trying to, cooperate with Sam and Bucky, but they're having their own problems between each other. Bucky doesn't understand why Sam gave up the shield, and Sam, he said it felt like it belonged to somebody else, but Sam didn't know that, the government was going to plan on creating a new mantle for Captain America. So, they're dealing with their own stuff. They had their little therapy session as well. But you could really feel the tension between the two.
Yeah,
because
when they finally unite in this episode, which is nice. They kind of just get right into it. Bucky's like, "Hey, why did you give up the shield, buddy? What are you doing?" You can just tell how mad Bucky is.
Oh, he was pissed.
Those first couple of scenes too, where you can see Bucky just on the floor watching the press conference. That was so good. You can just see he's just like, "What is this guy?" He
was livid. He'd barely blink the entire time, and then it's it creates such a interesting tension because you have the relationship between Bucky and Sam, and then you have this outward Captain America who has their best friend's shield, and especially with Bucky, he's 100 years old and he doesn't really know what to how to feel about all this. He's still processing, dealing with his own not being brainwashed by Hydra anymore, and then we find out that there is another super soldier that was created during their time. Isaiah, I think his name was
Isaiah Bradley.
And that was it was a very tense episode, just overall.
He's gonna be a badass, and he's definitely gonna be coming back. They didn't just put him in there for 30 seconds.
And it's crazy because Sam's like, why are you now just telling me that there was a black enhanced
the story
super
he
soldier?
had was pretty heartbreaking. Like it's kind of like the story of many African Americans who go to war and then come back and aren't welcome in their own country. Like he was thrown in prison for 30 years after getting the superheroes
The serum. Yeah.
It's just crazy to think about.
Yeah, I mean, this literally the story just got interesting with episode 2. Like episode 1, like I was feeling it, but I was like, I need a little bit more. But it's so interesting, and
we had to dive into things, but I didn't even expect it to be this fast. But it's amazing.
Hey man, 6 episodes. I gotta get straight to the point. Let's go.
Yeah, but I mean, just John Walker interacting with them like that fast. Like I thought that was going to be a build up, but no, right away.
Yeah.
Seeing that shield come in and hit that bad guy was so, I don't know how to feel. It was just so weird. Like I wanted to cheer because it's Cap's shield, but
yeah. I mean, he is
John Walker. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, like he is on their side. Well, he was on their side because, you have Bucky and Sam pretty much just giving him the cold shoulder when it came to this stuff. They were saying, hey, we want to help you guys take down the Flag Smashers. And Sam's like, hey, no offense, but, we are more free agents. You have to answer to a lot more people than we do. And, we can kind of move more freely and operate in a different pace than you guys. So it is just, it's crazy because you have this guy who was given this mantle. I mean, anyone who is like a war hero, which he is a war hero, would, it's a pretty big ask. Like, hey, like we want you to be the next Captain America, even though Steve Rogers passed his shield down to Sam. And I mean, Sam felt like what he was doing was right. And even after, they get into a little bit more of a mix up after they visit Isaiah with the cops. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Oh yeah, that was just, it's the world we live in, unfortunately. Like him and Bucky are just outside having a bit of a heated argument, just kind of bit of a shouting match, but not out of control.
Yeah.
And then the cops come by and they're really just antagonizing Sam, and Bucky's just kind of on the sideline. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
The white guy usually doesn't have much to worry about. And so they're asking for Sam's license. They're like, I don't need to give you my license. We're not doing anything.
Yeah.
We're just talking. He's fine. I'm fine. And then they're like, oh, wait, you're an Avenger. We should probably respect you. It's just like, it takes being an Avenger for them to respect him.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I think that goes along with, there's a lot of, black people in America who feel like, they have to work twice as hard just to get to where, between Sam and Bucky, like you said, it takes being an Avenger for, the cops to recognize who you are instead of just being like you said, kind of a shouting match, is a disagreement. No one was hurt, there was no punches thrown. But, it just seems that Sam has had to work a little bit twice as hard. And what did the cop say? He's like, I didn't recognize you there without your goggles. But they actually
that goes back to the first episode, too, when he went to the bank to try to get a loan, and the guy just didn't respect him at all.
Yeah.
Even when he found out he was a celebrity, he just asked for a picture and didn't really care.
And Sam didn't even bring up the fact, hey, I'm the Falcon, I'm part of the Avengers. Because he even said, he's like, oh, well, it's... he's like, I didn't want to bring it up, because number one, like, why would you? It's really not the time or the place for that. It's just a guy, trying to get a loan to save his parents' fishing business. So there's that. But yeah, it was crazy. So I mean, they actually end up arresting Bucky instead because he missed his therapy parole in a way. But then he gets pardoned for it later because
John Walker comes by and he's like, hey, you're free. Come work with us.
It's literally like, oh, who'd you call? Captain America? No, I got someone better. I got his third cousin on his mom's side.
Yeah.
It's literally the off-brand cereal.
I was getting fooled. Like we mentioned, I was getting fooled in the beginning. Like he might be a good guy, but then the nail in the coffin was towards the end when he's trying to just recruit them one last time.
Yeah,
he's like, "Hey Sam, I just want you to be Captain America's sidekick again." And Sam was like, it's always that last line that gets you.
Yep.
Because the way I'm seeing it is, it's kind of like this John Walker guy kind of has like just these pawns in his life to just make him look like a better person than he is. He's got an African American best friend, an African American girlfriend. He wants Sam Wilson as a sidekick. He's just he has these pawns that he's just using to try to prop him up as a better person than he is. And I feel like that's gonna come out as the show goes on.
Well, yeah, I forgot about his girlfriend. She's seen black mixed or whatever. Still black, whatever. But but yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. It's getting interesting, and and they go, excuse me, they go to towards the end of the episode, they go to visit Baron Zemo, who's in prison. But I'm interested to see. And now I'm just like, I was not as interested in season.
When they said let's go see Zemo, I was like, oh shit, let's go.
It's like that, yeah. Because I thought, even though Zemo probably is one of the bad guys, is also is Flag Smashers, which I think is going to be the main villain. But I think
Zemo could even be the one behind the Flag Smashers.
That's true. That is very, very true.
And he might be forming his own Thunderbolts team. There's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, and I can see why. Now I'm invested. Like, first episode, I was like, all right, it's a nice little setup, but we got 5 weeks left. Week 2 is here already. And I was like, oh, okay,
we're diving in.
Yeah, now we're getting to the good stuff. We're getting into the weeds there. So that's always some good stuff. But was there anything else you wanted to kind of touch on before we wrap up here?
We also got Isaiah Bradley's grandson. He's one that answered the door. In the comics, he is famously I think his name is it the Patriot?
I think so.
He's a known character in the comics, so he might be another recruitment for the Young Avengers. They are just stockpiling picks here for the Young Avengers team coming up.
I love like the young superheroes, the ones that are trying to learn the ropes from the older ones. That's why I love the Titans so much, like Young Justice, Teen Titans, because it's these proteges trying to make their own team. Like in a way, it is also a coming of age story as well, which I'm always a sucker for. I absolutely love stories like that. And give me all the Young Avengers that you can, because they're
coming. They're
coming.
We have like 10 choices to choose from, it feels like.
So who do you think would be the leader? Do you think it would be Spider-Man?
I feel like he's too good for the Young Avengers, to be honest. He's an Avenger.
I don't know, man.
I think Kate Bishop might be the leader.
Okay. People are saying Shuri as well. They could see her. That could be very interesting. Or possibly Echo. I mean, even with Daredevil, I'm not entirely sure. But it is, and when it comes to like the young protege teams, you get these more unknown, like I'm sure like Miss Marvel is going to be there.
Yeah, Miss Marvel will be there.
Maybe Moon Knight. Yeah. So it's always interesting just to see, who their villains are. It is more of small scale, but even though I like dragged my way through Titans season 1 and 2. Like the villain seemed more, on their level, kind of like I think in Titans season 1, the main villain is Trigun, which is Raven's daughter, and then the main villain in Titans season 2 is Deathstroke. And I thought Deathstroke was a way better villain than Trigun was. He was kind of just there, but it's interesting just to see, that kind of thing. I just love, the young team ups, the proteges coming together, making their own team, and proving to themselves that, they aren't, their mentors. Like, even though, we had Batman and Robin, you had Dick Grayson, but, he eventually becomes Nightwing. He does, like, yes, he trained under Batman, but, he's still his own hero in his own way, which is great. But you ready to get into scores?
I also just wanted to mention rest in peace, Red Wing.
Oh, crap.
So soon.
Dude, Carly snapped it like,
yeah.
I was like, oh.
And then Bucky was like, I really wanted to do that too.
Yeah.
But I think that opens the door for a real Falcon could be the replacement, because he's been complaining about how them interfering with his tech, and he got tracked through Red Wing. That's how
by John Walker.
Yeah, that's how they found him initially. So I think that we look at a real Falcon, just like in the comics, could be cool.
Yeah, that would be great. We'll give it a little bit more of a personality, and kind of like a third to like the little trinity between Falcon Soldier, and then you have the Winter Soldier, Falcon, and then Red Hawk.
Also, we should mention there was a joke where Sam called Bucky the White Panther, and then he replies, "No, I'm the White Wolf." I didn't know that they were going to continue that, but
yeah, because it was Black Panther who said, how's the White Wolf? I think it was towards the end of
it was the end credit scene for Black Panther.
Was it Black Panther? Okay,
yeah.
And also, really quick, I want to point out the the Lord of the Rings reference. I loved that scene so much.
He read it when it first came out.
he's like, Gandalf. He's like, yeah, I read The Hobbit when it came out in 19, I think it was like 31 or whatever. I'm like, oh my god, that was so.
The three types of bad guys:
androids, aliens, and wizards. That was great. He was like, I read The Hobbit when it first came out. I'm like, I love things like that. It's small little Easter eggs like that. It's like, okay, yeah, Bucky is old enough to even know who J.R.R. Tolkien is, and has probably read The Lord of the Rings when they first came out as well. So it's like it's crazy stuff like that I absolutely love about this these TV shows. And Marvel continues to, just blow our socks off when it comes to this stuff. So I'm very interested to see where the rest of this goes, see where Baron Zemo and the Flag Smashers have to see what their true stance is in all this, all the betrayals and
I just love the dynamic between we have two sets of two here. We got Falcon and Bucky, and then we've got New Cap and Battlestar. It's just such a cool dynamic because
it is a cool dynamic.
we don't know how villainly, is that a word? Villainly, how villainly they are, but we'll find out.
Sadistic,
especially Battlestar, because he didn't really show too many bad signs, but
he's kind of just along for the ride.
Yeah,
he's like, well, I was kind of signed to him, so like, yeah, I'm here. Like they know each other, but it's like, it seems that they do have a friendship, but it is, the mirrored image of Bucky and Sam kind of, or it's weird, but hey, I'm here for it. It is great stuff. So let's get into scores here. Let's wrap up. What grade would you give this out of for episode 2, the Star Spangled Man? And of course, say the grade and then whatever number you want to attach to it, because I think that will make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, this one had me hyped. I mean, they set up so many storylines, gave us a bunch of new characters. Like, it was 5 to 6 new characters in one episode, and it still didn't feel overwhelming.
Yeah,
like, we understand pretty much how we feel about most of them within one episode. And I'm gonna go with an A-, like a 91. Just really gets me going. I'm excited.
Okay, I was gonna go with a solid A. Give it a nice little 90, a 95 there. I thought it was a pretty.
I wanted to leave some wiggle room in case episodes keep getting better, like WandaVision.
That is true. That is, yeah. I don't know. The WandaVision was more, the theorizing and the head games and whatnot. I mean, this does feel more like a traditional Marvel story, but it's still good. They've been planning this stuff out for a while, so it's good stuff. So a 91 from Devin and a 95 from myself. A- on Devin's end, and a solid A for me. Honestly, I was roped in. I was like, oh man, I didn't want it to be over, but hey, that's the beauty of week to week releases. So, of course, that pretty much wraps it up for today's episode of Film Optics. Devin, of course, thank you always for coming on. Thank you everyone for listening at home, and don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating or review on Apple Podcasts, a 5-star rating and a nice little review. If you didn't like us, let us know what you didn't like about us. We it's not just positive criticism or positive feedback. You got to take the bad with the good. So it is what it is there. But also, let's just wrap up here today so we can get out of here. I believe we have our Godzilla versus Kong review coming out next week. I'm seeing it Wednesday. So
I'll probably watch the rest of Solar Opposites this weekend. We can do that early next week.
Yeah. So yeah, that's right. I almost forgot. Thank you for reminding me, Devin. So we also have our Solar Opposites Season 2 review. If you haven't seen Solar Opposites Season 1 or kind of want to go back to our Season 1 episode of that'd be pretty cool. I think we did that. It feels like a year ago, maybe, but it was only, I don't know.
It was a quick turnaround.
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround. So we have our Godzilla versus Kong review coming out next week, as well as our Solar Opposites Season 2 review and possibly Invincible.
Yeah, I think next week we'll do the combo Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Invincible.
You're killing me so much.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Invincible.
Hey,
what a team!
If we do that. We either have to shorten down these news stories
no news if we're doing
news. Yeah, that is true. It's news is kind of hit or miss some weeks. It's like this week was really, really good. Last week, nothing. But it is what it is. So yeah, let's get out of here. So that's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you all for listening, and make sure to check out the other podcast shows over on musiccitydrivein.com and subscribe to our show so you never miss an episode. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Go to musiccitydrivein.com.
Shiver me timbers.
Shiver me timbers.